Hi everybody and welcome to the full moon in Virgo ceremony. This is our full moon for March. I'm thrilled to be here with you. I always am, but especially today I wasn't feeling well today. So I really called upon the energy of this full moon, which, you know, a Virgo full moon is so much about healing. It really is. Virgo doesn't get enough credit for the healers that they are. And they heal through attention and through service and through accuracy and information, right? How many of you have a Virgo moon? My son has a Virgo moon. That means underneath it all, no matter how much he's an Aries, you know, by day, he's a Virgo underneath it all. So super happy that you're here. We're going to be doing some really serious healing work tonight. We're going to be working with the grid. It came with your tools. And I'm going to be doing some oracle card readings for you tonight, which I know you guys love, and you know I love it too. So thank you for being here. I'm very, very delighted that you're here. And to Alexis and Karen, thank you for being here too and holding it down for me today while I slept until about 3 o'clock. I normally don't do that. I'm not a day sleeper. I'm not even a very good napper. So that was kind of different for yours truly. I'm wearing the necklace, by the way. It's been in my boobs most of today. This necklace is going to be given away to one person who gets their full moon tools for next month before midnight tonight. We have just over 200 sets left, so if you would like one, you can get those at sagegoddess.com. Don't leave now, though. You can go do that after we're done tonight. But yeah, very, very happy that you're here. Okay, so what's on the agenda for tonight? If you haven't already, I always do full moon ceremony for free, and I always give you worksheets for free. You know, I still like to give something to people who aren't shopping or, you know, are looking for community. That's really what this full moon ceremony is about. I hope you know that. The full moon ceremony is actually really where Sage Goddess began. It was my intention to gather people from all over the world to celebrate this very important moon phase. We only get, you know, so many of these a year. And I have a brand new exercise we're going to do tonight. Yeah, I sure do. So I'm really excited to do this little downloading of lunar energy, and we're going to call it into 4 major organ systems in the body to help to transmute what I think are the 4 lowest emotions, vibrational emotions we can work with. And so this came to me in ayahuasca ceremony, which was hard to believe it'll be 2 weeks on Tuesday. But I just worked with ayahuasca medicine a week ago on Tuesday. And she gifted me this concept of this meditation to do with you tonight. So there must be somebody here who needs this. If you've been struggling with anger, fear, trauma, or sorrow and grief, I'm hoping you're going to love this exercise. It's really super simple, but you can only do it at the full moon. And my hope is you'll do it every full moon. And if you like it, I'll do it with you at every full moon. It'll be a fun new addition to the work that we do together. So if you go to sagegoddess.com, that's where I live, you can download this set of worksheets for the full moon in Virgo for free. And it gives you some good journaling questions, talks about the major themes of tonight's moon, which, like I said, is service. And of course, for Virgo, being of service, devotion. Virgos are very devoted, very loyal to people, places, energies. Accuracy. Who's more accurate than a Virgo? Nobody I know. Certainly not a Leo. The Leo motto is not ready, aim, fire. The Leo motto is ready, fire, aim. We're just not the most accurate folks on the planet. We make up for it because we're fun and we're kind of exciting. But we're not accurate. So we come to Virgo for accuracy analysis, right? They're so good at analyzing information, adjustment, improvement, efficiency, healing, work, and your employment. Ain't nobody better than a Virgo if you are looking for accuracy, and probably nobody worse than a Leo if that's what you're looking for. So let's burn some stuff. I want to know how you're doing. Talk to me about where you're at right now. We have exciting events this weekend, by the way. I'm not normally live with you over the weekend, but I am this weekend on Sunday because it's spring equinox. in the northern hemisphere. And then if you live below the equator, you are getting ready to celebrate the fall equinox and turn toward the darker half of the year. So I hope you'll join me. It is a spring equinox ceremony that I'm creating for you, but we will be giving a nod to our southern hem brothers and sisters, because we have quite a few beloveds in South America and New Zealand and Australia, and so we want to make sure you guys know you are part of the show, right? Oh, I bet it has Jill Orr. She said it served her as a pharmacist for 32 years. How could it not, right? And that's why it takes every astrological sign to make the world go round. You know, we need the analysis and the accuracy of Virgos, just like we need every other sign that you are here representing. Kristen Wheeler's right down the street from me. She's here from Redondo Beach, California. I am just a few miles away from you in beautiful Palos Verdes, California. So cheers, and what a joy to have you with me tonight. Ostara is Sunday. It's also the launch of the eyeshadow palette. You know, our makeup line at Sage Goddess is growing, and so the eyeshadow that I use, some of you have asked me to teach you how to do makeup. I'll be doing a little tutorial, and you can get all of that on Sunday. Okay, let me show you the tools for tonight, darling. And what I want to tell you is, if you don't have these specific tools, I'm going to grid for you and share the energy of my grid with you. So is anybody new to full moon ceremony or just Sage Goddess world in general? I love seeing where you're checking in from too. We've got Las Vegas, we've got Minnesota in the house, Summer's in PV, whoop whoop, look at that. So I'm going to be gridding for you, so it's okay if you don't have your tools. I'll share the energy with you. I just want you to stay here and enjoy the experience. And then I'm going to be pulling cards. Each full moon kit this year comes with 6 oracle cards. And so this tells you tonight when I read for you, and I'll get to as many of you as I can in the time we have. Look at that, how fun. I love the check-ins. Lovey it. Isn't that cool to see everybody? I was born in Corona, California. Yep. Okay. So, so I'll be pulling cards for you after we do a little drumming and our gridding together. Okay. So let's talk about a Virgo full moon real quick, because this is important. Oh, let me show you the tools though. This is the grid. It's a selenite grid. We have 6 tumble stones and a generator that are going to go on there. We also have some juniper berries, a couple of bay leaves, some white sage leaves, rosebuds. That's all in the mix. Yours probably came to you like this, or it came to you in the smaller bags. And then we're going to activate our grid tonight with the bloodstone wand that has the Virgo glyph on it, if you can see that. Bloodstone has quartz in it, so you can actually use this wand to activate grids, which is really cool. And then once we activate the grid, I will use this wand to direct the energy of the grid to you, so that you can work with the healing intention that we set. And as I'm doing the gridding, I'm going to ask you to set your own intention for healing. Healing can look like a lot of things, right? Some people need emotional healing, spiritual healing. Some people need physical healing, right? And recovery energies. There's a lot of you in the feed who I know have different, health challenges that you're facing. So I really want to encourage you to think, paint with a broad brush tonight about what we mean by healing, because healing is important no matter what aspect of your life that you're looking at. Mental health is a big one in the world right now, and in my community, a lot of people have been struggling for the last couple of years, feeling kind of disconnected. It's been a weird 24 months, but it's been a weird transition phase that we've been going through. And my explanation for that is I think we're going through something of a planetary upgrade. But as you know, upgrades are not always smooth and easy, right? I think we're moving toward a higher vibration, but in the process, it feels kind of disjointed and disconnected. So, so this is Metatron's cube on the grid, right? And Metatron's cube is important because it includes every other sacred geometric shape inside of it. And then we kind of riffed on the Caduceus symbol. The Caduceus symbol is the symbol of modern medicine, right? You've got the 2 snakes winding up together, which actually really represents Kundalini energy, creation energy in the body. And then we sure put a sexy lady in the middle of that Caduceus. I think this is one of the coolest designs we've done. Because, Brooklyn and I worked on this, and it came back with just the Caduceus, and I was like, kind of boring. Can you make it sexy? It got real sexy up in that caduceus. So that's what we're working with. So tonight we're working with, and there's a lot of feminine energy in Virgo, right? That energy of service and commitment and connection that Virgo really embodies is quite feminine, even though it's such a grounded sign. So we're working with all sacred geometry, this symbol of medicine and healing, and then also the symbol of the divine feminine, right, which sort of pours out that healing energy. So I'm glad you like it, because it's one of my favorite grids that we've done. Okay, so for tonight, I wanted to share, I have a favorite Instagram account. I have a lot of favorite Instagram accounts, but I'm going to show you one in particular. She's just awesome, and she doesn't even know I'm doing this tonight. But I did want to show her to you. The account is called Third Eye MM. You may follow this account already. I've been following her for a long time. And I thought her post today about the full moon in Virgo was just so on point. I shared it with my nearest and dearest Virgos in my life today. So here's what Third Eye MM on Instagram says about the Virgo full moon. When we identify the issues that are blocking our growth, we can move our purpose from a state of dream into a state of action. Let's say that again. When we identify the issues that are blocking our growth, and that's what this full moon is all about, we can move our purpose from a state of action to a state of, or from a state of dream to a state of action. So we get out of just visioning and wanting and desiring, we move into action. But we have to find out what the issues are that are blocking us. She says, letting go of the superficial allows us to take the first step into the direction our soul has mapped for us. Bodhi obviously agrees. Letting go of the superficial allows us to take the first step into the direction our soul has mapped for us. If the synthetic makes a right, you must make a left. Isn't that cool? All of her posts are so great. This one really struck a chord for me too the other day. She says, there's the moment your mother births you, and then there's the moment you birth yourself. The in-between of the two is you remembering who you are, what you are, and why you're here. And this is the awakening process. So anyway, have fun with Third Eye MM. And hopefully you'll enjoy all her posts. Because I think I've liked or shared almost every post she's ever done. Bodhi is in agreement. So that's what tonight's all about. Virgo, this is what I'll say about Virgos. And like I said, most of the loves of my life have been Virgos. My son has Virgo moon. Virgos are not here for the fake. They're just not. They almost can't do it. I mean, they're so authentic. And you can love them or leave them for that. But you're going to get the real deal with Virgo. They don't put on a show. My mom used to call it putting on airs. They don't put on airs. And they're really here to hold that space of authenticity. They're so grounded and they're so usually secure in who they are and what they are about and what they represent that they can create that space for you also to be authentic and to be grounded. So what I want you to think about tonight as we do our gridding and as I drum for you and all these things, we draw down this lunar energy, where in your life do you need to step into these energies of authenticity, right? Of knowing exactly who you are and moving away from what's superficial and toward what's real and true, what's proved itself to you over time, right? Because that's the energy of this evening and I love it. Also, where in your life do you need to hold the magnifying glass a little closer? Maybe there's parts of your life that you need to improve or change. And Virgo can help you do that too, because they're very good at noticing the details. Like, this is working, this isn't working, right? So, oh, I love that. Gentry says, my son is a Virgo and he is the centerpiece of my joy. What a beautiful way of putting that. I hope you'll write that down for your son and tuck it away. Because I can tell you, if my mom had written that down for me, it would be such a treasure to me to have that. You need to write that down for your baby. That's super, super beautiful. Touched my heart for sure. Okay, so I'm going to open a circle because we have a lot of work to do tonight. And like I said, very happy you're here. Hoping you will enjoy everything, right? You're not into the fake, you're into the real. There are some signs who can be a little fake. I'm not calling you out, but you know who you are. And they're not fake, it's just that, you know, a lot of times the air signs in particular, because they just kind of go with the flow, it can seem fake, but they're like chameleons. You know what I mean? Like Libras do this, Aquarians do this. They kind of, they take on the energy of the space that they're in. So sometimes it seems inauthentic. I know some very authentic Libras and Aquarius, but sometimes they'll do that. Virgo, you invite them to the party, they don't like the food, they're going to be like, I don't like that food. It's like, well, sometimes it's a little harsh, but they're here for the real. I always say being married to a Virgo for 20 years, as I have been, has required me to step up my game. Right? It's true. You ready to open a circle with me? I know. Sorry about that, Karen Brown. Y'all air signs, you know where you are, right? Let's go ahead and drop in now, right? This is your time. I'm here for you. Let's enjoy every minute. It goes by way too fast. So let's welcome in tonight the guides and the guardians of the 5 sacred directions, starting with East. So we turn to you, East, and we call upon you tonight. Under this big full moon, help us to see clearly. Help us to honor new beginnings and growth. Help us to rise above the challenges of our lives, see them for what they are. Yeah. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the Eastern direction, element of air. And then turning the wheel south, welcome in the guides and the guardians of the fire element. Yeah. Right? Oh, fire, you push us to grow, to expand, to become. Teach us how to transform, shift, grow, change, in service of our soul's divine purpose. And we welcome in the guides and the guardians of the South. Yes. And then to the West, guides and guardians of the water element. Teach us how to flow. Teach us how to find the path of least resistance. Teach us to heal and teach us to release what isn't serving us tonight. We welcome in all of the guides and the guardians of the direction of West. And then we turn north. Guides and guardians of the element of Earth, we greet you at this Virgo full moon. So good. The gifts of the North: patience, peace, purpose, persistence, presence. I always say that the guides of the North teach us how to slow down, take our time. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the North. And then the direction that unites them all, the guides and guardians of the spirit element. Element of magic, serendipity, creation. We ask that you're here with us tonight. We welcome you. You give life to the other 4 elements. You pull them together. You animate them. And in turn, you animate us. Teach us about connection and synergy and synchronicity. And so, we welcome the guides and the guardians of ether, of spirit, of Akash, right? The east is here, the south is here, the west is here, the north is here, the spirit is here. Love it. Yeah, this is my favorite drum, even though I have some super fancy fancies. It's just a Remo frame drum. It's not anything, you know, terribly exciting, but it's so reliable, and everybody loves it when I play that drum. I have bigger shamanic gong drums, you know, that have more of a really harmonic resonant bass tone to them, but that little Remo does me just fine. So our circle is open. Now, let's do the visualization first, because this is going to help you to transform some of these really heavy energies that might be in your system, and I know some of these are in my system. And again, we're focusing on, this is from ayahuasca, we're focusing on the 4 heaviest vibrational frequencies that you can have in your field. This is the stuff you really don't want to make a good home for, okay? Because these are energies that can move from being just an emotion to actually taking up physical residence in your body and turning into disease and illness. So it's really important to be constantly transmuting and moving this energy. The first is anger. Anger lives in your liver. I have all kinds of theories about this, you know, because some of the things that, you know, like when you drink too much alcohol and people tend to get angry when they do that, they're also damaging their liver, right? So if we want to transmute liver or anger, we have to go into the liver. Anybody have anger? We all have anger sometimes. You know, what I will tell you is if you say, no, I don't have any of these and I never feel these things, I would kind of wonder about that. I mean, I get mad, right? I get frustrated, I get angry. We all do, it's part of the human experience. The challenge is not to live there. The challenge is to notice when you're angry, observe that emotion, make sure you're honoring it in whatever way it needs to be seen by you, and then to transmute it. And by transmuting, I mean taking it to its polar opposite. Each one of these emotions or energies has an opposite frequency that's actually in service to you. So we want to shift from one to the other, right? I'm double fire. I mean, I can go from 0 to angry in like 10 seconds, but then I'm usually back away from it in 10 seconds after that, right? But we all get angry. Fear, anybody have fear? Fear is a big one. Fear is in some ways worse than anger, because anger, a lot of times you're justified, right? I'm angry about this thing. Okay, you're angry. Fear, though, a lot of times is based on assumptions, or it's based on expectations that aren't real, or things that you think are going to happen but don't, right? A lot of times fear is based in a fictional reality. So fear lives in our kidneys. So we're going to work with the kidneys tonight, right? Lots of fear energy to move. We have to let go of fear. You have to literally live your life as if you are unafraid. One of my greatest mentors in my life told me that the only time you should really engage with fear is if you are in imminent physical danger. Then fear can actually be helpful to you because it can tell you, go here, do this, move that, right? So when you're in harm's way, fear actually can be a teacher. Any other time, it is counterproductive to be afraid, right? The third frequency you want to avoid living inside of, even though it happens to all of us, trauma. Trauma, right? The moments of life, right? When it's just, it's overwhelming, it's too much, right? Trauma lives in your digestive system. And so that's why a lot of us have irritable bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. It's just a whole buffet of shit that happens when we don't resolve trauma, right? So tonight we're going to go in and release a little bit of that with this lunar energy. And then the last one, where I've been living for the past almost year because of my mom's death, is deep sorrow and real big grief. Anybody had sorrow and grief this year? It's been a friend of mine, unfortunately. I am shifting it though. I mean, that was the whole point of my journey last week, and I moved so much. I was telling one of my friends today, I used a whole roll of toilet paper, like the big like, you know, one that has 1,000 sheets or whatever. I cried so much during my ayahuasca journey over my mom that I used an entire roll of toilet paper. And the entire floor of this room was covered in little wadded up. So if you're like me and you've had a lot of sorrow and grief and just the tears that don't stop, right? Sorrow lives in your lungs. So it can cause you ultimately to have respiratory issues. And I think this is true. Like people I know in my life who've had severe like COPD and other trauma and challenges to their lungs are people who have lived with immense amounts of unresolved sorrow and grief, right? I do recommend, moving that energy by just simply letting your body process in whatever way it needs to, right? Okay, so let's do this. We're going to do it with one breath for each, okay, but big breaths. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you what it looks like. We're going to, on the inhale, we're going to draw in all this big lunar energy from tonight. We don't have an eclipse, so it's just nice direct energy. So on the inhale, we're going to pull all of that big lunar energy up into our system. And on the exhale, we're going to direct that energy down into the organ we're focusing on. And we're starting with the liver for anger, okay? You know where your liver is, right? So we're going to on the inhale, pull that lunar, and imagine, like look at the moon if you can, and imagine just drawing her in, and on the exhale, we're going to push that energy in, and we're going to ask that lunar light to transmute that anger into peace, into resolution, whatever that looks like for you, okay? So let's do this first one together if you're ready. Let's go ahead and inhale. Big lunar light energy, call it all in into your system. Hold it for just 1 second, and then sending it right into the liver. Just give that light permission to shift, transform that anger, release it, transmute it, and allow it to become a perfect sense of peace, contentment. And if that felt good, you can do it again. Breath is always good medicine, right? And then right into the liver, just moving, 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 shifting, 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 shifting. Okay. Now let's do the same thing around fear, and we'll set it to the kidneys. Okay, so again, on the inhale, you're going to call in all that big lunar light tonight. Hold, 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 and then down to both kidneys. And just really let that lunar light come through. And we're going to shift and transform fear into surrender, right? Fear is you thinking that you can control something by worrying about it. So for me, the opposite is complete surrender. What will be, will be. I'm going to be with what is. I'm not going to rehearse trauma, right? Okay, let's do it one more time. Lunar light, and then into the kidneys, shifting, transforming, moving, releasing, allowing all that fear. Really let all of that air out. It feels good, doesn't it? The next one is your stomach. This is where we're going to move trauma energy that might be still sitting in your upper intestine or lower intestine, anywhere there. This, when it becomes physical, shows up a lot of times as diverticulitis too, because trauma then creates a little pocket for you where it starts to store all your shit, right? So let's go ahead and inhale all that big lunar light, again, calling it in as much as you can, and then hold and just allow that light to go all the way down from the top of your upper intestine and wind its way through the lower intestine, all the way to the rectum, and through the system it goes. Let's do one more, because there's a lot of trauma. It doesn't mean you're going to release everything tonight, and you're only going to release what you're ready to release, but it's nice to give your system permission to do this, right? It kind of waits for you. So one more big deep breath here. And now let's send this through all those feet and feet and feet and feet of intestine, right? Just that system that winds and winds and winds. Visualize it just moving all the way through. And that's going to release right at your root chakra, which is nice, right? Giving your body a break. And then, last but not least, we're going to do sorrow and sadness. We're going to get that out of your lungs today so that we don't end up with inflammation and disease in the lungs. How about that? So let's, on the inhale, call in all that lunar light. Hold, and then your lungs are actually doing the releasing, right? And then just releasing sorrow, grief, sadness. Yeah. Yeah. Feel it moving Feel your lungs like just opening to receive that light and then contracting to just let it all go. Your heart will benefit from this too. This is a good one, right? So thank you to Madre Ayahuasca. Gracias. Our medicine is always right on time. Always, always, always right on time. Okay, now I'm going to move over here for our greeting. Yeah, I hope that was really helpful for you tonight. It felt very timely. So we're going to begin tonight's work by anointing with our perfume, as we always do. And Ritualist perfume, if you have it, we do have it at sagegoddess.com on its own. The rest of the tools from tonight sold out, but if you want just the perfume, you can still get that. This is black frankincense. A lot of you really love this blend. I don't blame you. It's so good. For protection, there's resinoid oak moss to ground you, all Virgo traits. There's frangipani absolute for creativity and being aware. There's amorous wood for relaxation. There's French lavender for tranquility, which is so important. And then white champaca for stress relief. Also brings you deeper love and connection in your relationships. Okay, so a little at your hands, your wrists for what you do, just a touch at your third eye for what you know. And then, you know me, I always put it on my ankles to bless my steps. Where I go, you can put it other places if you want, but this is a G-rated program, so we keep it appropriate for younger viewers. Some of you tell me, you're like, I do this and I do that, and I'm like, I can't do that on the screen as easily as you can, but have fun, do your thing. Okay, so coming back to the tools, I'm going to light our candle. That's made with all the same oils. So again, protection, tranquility, that's a candle you should use all the time. That'd be a great one for your bedroom, by the way. Because there's a couple of aphrodisiacs in there. So I'm not responsible for what happens when you use it. Okay, so whenever we create a grid together, the most important thing, and I've told you this a bajillion times, is your intention. What are we doing with this grid? And again, this is a healing grid for you to connect with whatever healing you need in your life. I would love it if you want to share, you can put your intention in the feed. If you don't want to share, you can just kind of hold it close to your heart. You can keep that private. You don't have to communicate it. My intention is physical healing and wellness. And I'm leaving it up to my spirit guides, how they interpret that, whatever is needed in this moment. I've learned so much about surrendering to their wisdom. Your spirit guides know what's needed. So a lot of times we set very specific intentions and don't leave that kind of cosmic latitude to the spirit guides to have their perspective on it too. So I am placing this here. And again, I'm gridding for the collective tonight. I'm also gridding for you. So I'm going to ask my spirit guides not only to hold space for my physical healing and wellness and whatever that looks like for me, but also to hold the same space for everybody who's here tonight and everybody who will watch this later. Yeah, look at that. Very good. Healthy pregnancy, comfort from grief, physical healing, love, love, love. I'm so glad you like it. Weight loss, which is a form of healing, like coming into the right alignment with whatever your ideal, physical weight is always helpful for health. Beautiful. For your spine to move, to get your period back. Some of us are trying to get rid of our periods because we're in menopause. Some of you are trying to get them back. So whatever it is for you, that little generator is holding the space for you. Now we have 6 stones tonight that we're working with. Petrified wood is going to ground this healing in the physical world. Malachite is going to focus on healing that involves especially the feminine organs and anatomy. So pelvic, the entire pelvic region, your cervix, your ovaries, your uterus. Then I put moss agate in here, which also is helpful with healing on the spiritual and emotional level. I put bloodstone in here because that's a really great healer for pain, and I know a lot of you have pain, so I thought, why not put that in there too? Pink tourmaline in Matrix is a healer of the heart. So this is about all of you who need healing in relationships, healing from emotional wounds of the past. And then brecciated jasper, for me, is about healing on kind of a different level. For me, brecciated jasper is about healing your mindset and also healing the different parts of your life that need to be brought together in a new way. Maybe that involves healing around your profession or healing around your home and where you live, or it could be all kinds of different things. So it kind of opens the door to every other possibility for healing that you guys might be thinking of. So I'm going to place these 6 stones around the perimeter. And those are the 6 outer wheels of the Metatron's cube. And I'm just going with my intuition. There's no particular order you have to follow, so it's really just what resonates with you in the moment. And now we gave you some herbs too, because I think it's pretty. I was inspired. It's brecciated jasper, B-R-E-C-C-I-A-T-E-D. That's a stone that helps you get your shit together. So good for a Virgo full moon. Virgos are constantly trying to help people get their shit together. They're not always successful. We can't all be Virgos, right? Okay, so I'm going to put a leaf, a bay leaf here between every other stone on my grid. Bay covers so many different energies and qualities. And one of the things I want to tell you is you can actually write on your bay leaf. I'm not going to do that tonight, but if you wanted to set a specific intention with each of your leaves, healing, protection, purification, it's also really good for releasing. So if there's something in your body, if there's an energy that just isn't serving you for whatever reason, you might want to write that energy down on the bay leaf and add it to your grid. And you can always add bay leaves to a grid that you're working with. And then white sage, of course, is cleansing. It's the ultimate cleansing and purifier. So let me show you those. And yeah, actually, Karen, might be helpful. A few people have asked to go over the stones again. I will talk about them again when I activate the grid, but it might be helpful just to list them out one more time. So for purification and cleansing, I'm going to put 3 white sage leaves in the places where I didn't put the bay. Again, you can put those anywhere you want. There's no right or wrong way to do this, which is part of what I love about gridding. You really can't screw it up. Juniper berries are interesting. They are also for protection, but they ground you, and they ground energy into the physical world. So this is bringing our intention for healing and helping it to become manifest. So I am going to place a juniper berry at each place I have a stone. Actually, I think I'm going to put them in the middle there. That way I have room for my quartz points. And as you place them, again, just setting an intention. What are you clearing? What are you manifesting? What are you grounding into physical form? Maybe it's comfort in your body, or maybe it's peace within your body. Okay. We also sent you some rose petals, little rose buds. I love roses. I named my daughter Zoe Rose because I just think it's one of the most beautiful flowers. And roses, in every culture, but especially in Middle Eastern culture, are considered symbols of the feminine, of the divine feminine. So it's just sensuality, passion, love. So I just think they're beautiful. So I'm just going to add, I think I'll add one here. Because love is part of healing too, right? Maybe you haven't felt worthy of love, and so now you do, and you're going to honor that by putting some little rosebuds on your altar. And plus, this grid, we've tried to really balance the masculine and feminine energies in it. Hopefully you can see that. So, because Virgo has that beautiful balance of masculine and feminine just inherently in who they are. And then if you have leftover herbs, it's nice to put them into your, if you're not going to use them tonight, it's nice to add them to your little smudging bowl or smudging dish, and that way you can use them to clear and cleanse energy later because they're full moon charged, which is kind of nice. Okay. Now that we have everything there. The last step in your grid is to what we call terminate the grid. Okay, so you want to we gave you 4 quartz points. You want to put a quartz point at each of the 4 directions. And what that does is it keeps the energy in the grid. So this is east, and this is south in my room. This is west. The Pacific Ocean is right there out my window. And then this is north. Okay. Now, if you put the points facing out, you are sending this energy to other people. If you put the points facing in, you're keeping it. And so because I'm doing gridding for you, I'm going to put the points out. If this is just for you, then I would say put the points facing in. Does that make sense? Each one of those little quartz points has a termination. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to activate this baby. And this is bloodstone, which is, again, one of my favorite stones for physical pain relief. It really works. But it also has quartz in the matrix. You can actually see the quartz in the matrix. This is South African bloodstone. It's a little bit different from Indian bloodstone. South African bloodstone has more quartz in the matrix, and so that's one of the reasons we chose it. Isn't that cool? All right, so now we're going to activate. I'm going to put just a little bit. I don't know why I'm feeling called to put just a little bit of my perfume from tonight onto my wand. You don't have to do that, but just to connect the energy. Stones and oils are good friends. They partner well together. Okay, so starting at the quartz generator, I'm activating this grid in service of my health and well-being, and also the health and well-being of everyone who's watching now and everybody who will watch later. And so what we do is we go out to the farthest stone and then back in, and then out to the next stone and back in, and then out to the next one clockwise and back in. And you're only activating the stones. Okay, so you're going to see me do that. So I'm going out to that farthest quartz point, activating for magnification and programming, and back to quartz. Out to moss agate, which is bringing emotional and mental healing, and out to quartz, back to quartz. Out to brecciated jasper, which is going to help us heal all aspects of our life that need greater organization and structure, and back to quartz. Out to quartz for magnification, and back to quartz. Out to malachite for divine feminine healing, and back to quartz. Out to quartz for magnification and programming, and back to quartz. Out to pink tourmaline to heal your heart and the emotions, and back to quartz. Out to bloodstone to heal from physical pain and discomfort, and back to quartz. Out to quartz for magnification and programming, and back to quartz. Out to petrified wood to help ground your healing in the physical world, and back to quartz. And then we always finish where we started, which is back at this original quartz point, and back to quartz. I activate this grid at this full moon in service of my healing and the collective, and I give thanks for healing energies that are already on their way. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. And so now what I'm going to do is bring this point to the camera for you. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I'm going to bring it over here. So if you have a stone or a piece of jewelry or something in your collection that you want to charge with this energy of our grid tonight, just hold it up to the screen and it'll connect. It's like plugging into this little matrix that we've created. Isn't that cool? So yeah, take your necklace off and hold it up, or grab a tumbled stone out of your collection and just touch it to the screen where you see the point. Trying to get it to focus on the point and not on me. There it is. It's beautiful, isn't it? You can actually see the quartz on the tip of that one. And so you and me and that grid are activated, connected. Super good. Super, super, super good. Yeah, your magician's pendant would be a perfect tool to charge. I'm also going to charge this necklace because I think that's kind of a cool thing. Just connecting this necklace to the grid. Okay. It is done, it is done, it is done. And then I want to hear from you how you're doing and how you're feeling and I really believe in energy work. I, as many of you know, have had 3 serious autoimmune diseases in my life, and I'm in remission from all of them. And, I always practice the best of East and West. I think you should go to your doctor and be a good patient, and I also think you should run the energy. It makes a difference. It really does. And when you set an intention and hold an intention on a night like tonight, when you've got big lunar energy like this, under a healing sign, in my world, that matters. It makes a huge difference. All right, now for the next 10 minutes or so, I would love to pull some cards for anybody who would appreciate more personalized wisdom. This is going to tell you where you need to shine the light tonight on your life to help with your healing process. And these are all Virgo themed cards. Virgo approved, by the way, on our Team SG. So if you would like a reading, just say yes or give it to me or let's do this thing, and I will jump right in and pull a card. All right, starting with Cindy Walsh. Let's do it, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Happy full moon for Cindy, Cindy, Cindy. Cindy needs to be kinder to herself. Striving for perfection is exhausting. Ask your local Virgo. They will tell you how exhausting it is to try to be perfect all the time. All right, Pandora NYC. Hi, Pandora. Let's do it. Pandora, Pandora, Pandora. Same message for you. Be kind to yourself. Remember, you are your worst critic. Fill your thoughts, feelings, and actions with positivity. All right, next up, let's do Christy Hansen. Hi, Christy. Let's see where you need to shine this light tonight for Christy, Christy, Christy. Lend a healing hand. There's always something to work on, improve, and perfect, and you know how to do it. When someone needs help, lend a healing hand. Share your natural talent for thinking and healing. I love that. I think it's important to see yourself as a healer in your own life. I think people hesitate to do that, but the reality is you are a healer, and you know it. All right, let's do this. Tanya B, lean into my stream. I'm here for you. Tanya, 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 let's see where you need to go tonight. Embrace your critical eye. Embrace your critical eye. It's a gift for preventing problems and making things better. Attention to detail and your ability to focus and analyze keep the metaphorical ship sailing. You're inspiring others to do their best. All right, Joyce Westfall. Hi, Joyce. She says, may I have a card, please? Let's do it. For Joyce, Joyce, Joyce. Put in the work. Leo doesn't like this message. We're like, sounds like too much. I don't want to put in the work. But Virgo does. Put in the work and devote your time to something meaningful. Throw yourself into a new project where you can optimize your precision and technique. Use your hands to manifest your creativity and connect with earth energy. All right, now Michelle Brecker. Hi. She's like, I would love some guidance. Let's do it. Hi, Michelle. Michelle, Michelle, Michelle. See the bigger picture. Virgo's so good at this. Pull back your focus and see the bigger picture. Focusing on specifics can weigh you down and cause you to lose sight of your goals. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't get overwhelmed. Look up and see things from another perspective. That's good wisdom for tonight, isn't it? Just in general. All right, Angelina. Did that one jump from the back when you were shuffling? Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's really cool that you're shuffling with me too. All right, Karen Kelly says, where do I need to shine my light? Let's see what's coming up for you tonight, Karen. Karen, Karen, Karen. See the bigger picture. Yep. Don't keep too tight of a focus. You have to open the aperture, right? Helicopter up. as I like to say. See things from 30,000 feet. It just gives you perspective. Helps you make better decisions, which is so important. And then, hi Kaz. Kaz has given me permission to read and move the energy. Thank you, darling. Let's see what's coming up for you, Kaz. Lend a healing hand. Remember, Virgo rules the hands. There's always something to work on, improve, and perfect, and you know how to do it, right? When someone needs your help, lend a healing hand. Sharing your natural talent restores emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual wellness. It does indeed. Let's see. Deanna Bello says, read me please. Let's do it. Hi, Deanna. Deanna. Bigger picture. It's interesting how that happens. People tend to kind of cluster. Certain people are, I tend to find you in that order because it's work that you need to do, right? So not getting too narrow in your focus, helicopter up so that you can see from a different view, different elevation. It gives you a different perspective. Shows you have options too when you don't get too focused and too specific. All right, Mary Clement. She said, this Virgo man would love a card. Let's do it. Hi, Mary. Mary. Establish boundaries. Virgo's very good at this. Give yourself permission to create space and establish boundaries. Setting limits helps you integrate overall wellness and maintain healthy relationships. By making yourself a priority, you also teach people how to treat you. Isn't that the truth? As a working mom, I can tell you that is a constant challenge. Where do I fit in, right? All right, Rachel Z says, where do I need to focus? Let's see where you need to focus tonight. Hi, beautiful. Rachel. See the bigger picture. Yeah, we get very myopic as humans, right? We tend to live our lives and get very small. And so part of healing is pulling back that focus so we can see and integrate the things that we see. It feels like that's kind of the medicine for the collective tonight. Okay, Lauren Conway, who is a Virgo. Hello, Lauren. Let's pull a card for you. Lauren. Guess which card it is. You know what, universe? I think I'm going to take that card out of the deck so you can't choose it anymore. Right? Bigger picture. Although I think that's good medicine for you where you are right now, is seeing that. All right, Nick is here. Nick Batchelder's here. Let's do this. Hi, Nick. Let's see where you need to shine your light tonight for Nick. Lend a healing hand. When someone needs help, lend a healing hand and share your talent for thinking and healing. Okay. Joanne Stanley. Let's do this. Hi, Joanne. Let's see where you need to shine your light tonight for Joanne. See the big picture. This card kind of reminds me too, those of you who read tarot will maybe understand this too. It reminds me of the Hermit card. Like I can feel that energy for you, Joanne. Like going out ahead of other people, and kind of illuminating the path so that you help them find their way. I think that's something that would resonate with you. Okay, hi Reese. She says, my son's first ceremony and he came home from the hospital today. He would like a reading and move the energy. He's a Gemini. All right, so let's do this for Reese's son. Let's see what card he needs. And I'm so happy he's here. It's really cool. It's a big deal, first ceremony. Put in the work. Devote your time to something meaningful to you. Throw yourself into a new project where you can optimize your impeccable precision and technique, and then use your hands to manifest your creativity and connect with earth energy. Okay, how about a collective card for all of us? You, me, what do we collectively need to illuminate under this big Virgo full moon? Let's see. So for the collective, everybody who's here now, everybody who'll watch later, what do we need to know? Where do we need to shine our light in a new direction? Boundaries. Give yourself permission to create space. Isn't that true? Do you sometimes feel guilty when you set a boundary? Remember, boundaries aren't just for you, they're for other people too. People want us to teach them how to treat us. I found that to be true in my practice. And so set limits. And also sometimes set limits for yourself, right? I'm only going to work X number of hours a day. I love my job so much that I almost never shut off, right? But still there's times where it's like, no, I'm setting a limit. I'm declaring what is acceptable, right, in my life. And that's very important because and also if you have children, when you set limits, for the people around you and even for yourself, you're also teaching your children to do that too. Kids have to learn how to set boundaries. And a lot of times if they don't have an adult who is kind of modeling that for them, right, then they don't learn how to do it. And then they become adults who don't have those boundaries set. And then everything feels like it's overwhelming to them. So it's very important to also teach the young people in your life how to narrow things down a little bit. Well, we did good tonight, didn't we? What a beautiful grid that we've activated together. Let's release those guides and guardians from the space. Didn't that hour go by fast? I told you it goes by really fast. I'm just so grateful that I was well enough to be able to be with you tonight. There was a moment where I'm like, because I've never missed a full moon in this whole decade. I was like, this is not going to be the first time. And I hope you enjoyed the little light exercise too. At the new moon, we release and let go, and I love the new moon. I'll be coming live to you from the Caribbean at the new moon on March 31st. My first time out of the country since COVID. I've postponed this trip 3 times. So I'll be live with you in a beautiful place, and I hope you can join me. But at the full moon, we draw that lunar energy down and we illuminate what needs to be expanded, right? And so we begin where we left off, releasing the guides and the guardians of the spirit element. Thank you for coming through tonight, for helping us activate our grid, for activating the energies, the other 4 elements, reminding us the magic is real. We release you with gratitude. And then releasing the guides and the guardians of the north with gratitude as well. Thank you for your steady patience with us, keeping us grounded and safe, reminding us to take our time, not to rush through, enjoying every moment, every experience, even the challenging ones, right? And then thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the west. Thank you for the healing that's already on its way. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, we'll take it. Thank you for helping us to let go where that's needed, for nurturing us and holding a space of compassion. And then to the guides and the guardians of the south, we release you with gratitude. Thank you for helping us to shift and grow and transform, becoming a brighter and clearer version of ourselves in the south, reminding us to play, explore, be creative, finding new ways to solve old problems. And then last but not least, we thank and release the guides and the guardians of the east. Thank you for your perspective and clarity, showing us a new way, a new path, a new beginning, a new cycle. Oh. And so it is. Another full moon in the books. And I wouldn't have it any other way on this beautiful evening. And thank you for being here too. Thank you, Team SG, for holding it down. Thank you to my guides for keeping me healthy enough to be here with you. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So a few things to tell you and remind you of. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're here. That way you won't miss anything in the future. So that's a good thing for you to do. Sunday night, I will be with you at the same time right here on YouTube for Spring Equinox ceremony. We're going to have a lot of fun and can't wait to join you for that. We're going to be really opening the door to a season that for me is all about growth and renewal. And yeah, I'm excited to welcome spring. It's been a long winter. I know it has been for a lot of you too. And then if you want to have the tools for next month's full moon, they are 22% off today with code 22HOLY, H-O-L-I, because that's the Indian Festival of Lights and Color. So what we're doing next month, this is a little heavy to lift up for you, but I'm going to do my best. We are making spell bottles, potion bottles at the next full moon. So you are getting everything you need to make something just like, I love these so much, like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So we're sending you the bottle, the ribbon, the charms, the stones to put on top, and the mica powder to go inside. This is a pink one that we made in-house at SG, and then I'll show you the blue one too. And so we're going to gather up all the energy, draw that lunar energy down to this bottle, and then this will go and look so beautiful on your altar. So everything that you see here comes with the kit. You get your candle, you get your perfume, you get your next 6 oracle cards for Libra. You get a double terminated kyanite wand this time for creating balance, because Libra's about balance. So you're gonna get one of these bottles. Then you get this is your little mica powder. You're getting 2 colors of mica powder, chipstones, cute little charms. You're getting rhinestones, everything you need to bling out that bottle, and your perfume, which is called Charmed, because Libras are very charming. I'm Libra rising. So I'm not as charming as those of you who are full Libras, but I have a little bit of that in my pocket. And then if you get those tools before midnight tonight, I hate to like pull up and show you my boobs, but one of you is going to win this particular necklace I'm wearing, made by my friend Sylvia Peluso. This is worth $450. It's a tricolored tourmaline on the bottom, which is for beauty and wisdom. Then it's diaspora on the top, which is a really rare crystal. It comes primarily from Turkey, and that is for going with the flow. And then there's actually a diamond, a raw diamond on the front. Isn't that cool? For vision and master healing. So, and it's long, as you can see, but you can adjust it and make it shorter if you want. I kind of like to wear her amulets a little long. Tuck them in my pocket. So good luck. One of you who gets your tools before midnight tonight is going to win that, and the tools are at sagegoddess.com. Team SG with the gold box, just put the link up there so you can click that link, and then make sure you put 22 HOLI when you check out. It's going to take 22% off of the kit, and then you're automatically entered to win the necklace. Yeah. That's everything I have for you tonight, darling. Did you have fun? I feel like I'm back to my old self, which is pretty great. So thank you for also holding space for my healing too. So you won't see me tomorrow, and that's because I have a doubleheader baseball game with my son, who plays high school ball now. It's very exciting. But then I will be with you on Sunday for Ostara, and I hope you can join me then, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, late AF Europe time. But if you'll stay awake, I will be right here with you. And have a great rest of your evening. Go enjoy this moon. Go get some, you know what I would recommend that you do? Seriously, make some moon water tonight. There's no eclipse activity, right? Put some water in a beautiful mason jar or something like that. And then you might want to actually use that water next month for your potion bottle. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Kind of will allow the energy of the Virgo full moon to connect with the energy of the Libra full moon. And even if you don't do that, just always gather some moon water. It doesn't matter what you put it in. I have a little like pitcher that I put it in. Zoe always helps me put a quartz point in there. Sit it out under the full moon tonight. Use that to make your tea, your soup, your coffee. It'll allow the energy of this moon, which is all about, again, focus and clarity and service and healing, to be infused into your system. The moon's very powerful. It's why we're here celebrating it, right? All right, cheers, you guys. Good night, good night, good night. I'll see you in 2 days. I'll see you on Sunday.